Somewhere in Ohio right now, a retired carpenter is sliding a folded sheet of plywood out of the back of his pickup truck. It looks like nothing, but by the time the sun goes down, that flat panel will be a small, insulated home, and a man who slept under an overpass last night will sleep behind a locked door tonight. All of it costs less than a used lawnmower. Across America, church groups, veterans, retired teachers, and grandmothers with garages full of tools are quietly building foldable shelters for under $2,000 each. And some of these designs are so clever, you will wonder why nobody thought of them sooner. Today, we are counting down 20 of the most amazing foldable homes Americans are building for homeless people, from the simple weekend projects anyone can copy, all the way down to the one design that started a movement. And number one comes from a woman most people would have written off completely. Stay with me, because that story alone is worth the whole video. Number 20, the Hexayurt. Picture a six-sided cabin made from ordinary 4x8 sheets of insulation board, taped and folded like a giant piece of origami. An engineer named Vinay Gupta released the design free to the world years ago, which means nobody owns it, nobody licenses it, and anybody with a utility knife can build one. Volunteer groups have put them together for a few $100s in materials, and because the panels fold flat, a single minivan can carry an entire shelter to wherever it is needed. Inside, the reflective insulation holds body heat so well that a single candle lantern can take the edge off a cold night. It is not fancy, but for someone sleeping on concrete, a Hexayurt is the difference between surviving winter and not. And because the design is free, church groups from Texas to Michigan have quietly built dozens of them without a single meeting, a single permit fight, or a single fundraiser gala. Just tape, boards, and a Saturday. Number 19, the folding pallet cabin. Shipping pallets are everywhere in this country, stacked behind grocery stores and warehouses, often free for the asking. Builders discovered that if you attach pallets together with heavy hinges instead of nails, the walls fold against each other like a book. 2 volunteers can carry a folded cabin, open it on a gravel pad, drop a simple roof panel on top, and have 4 solid walls in an afternoon. Add salvaged house wrap and a coat of donated paint, and the whole thing often comes in around a few $100s. One retired trucker in the Midwest reportedly keeps 3 folded pallet cabins in his barn, ready to deploy the moment a cold snap is coming. Number 18. The Conestoga Hut. Named after the old covered wagons that carried pioneer families west, these little shelters have a curved roof stretched over a wooden platform, and they first became famous in Eugene, Oregon, where a group called Community-Supported Shelters placed them in church lots and sanctioned camps. The curved top sheds reign beautifully. The footprint is small enough to fit almost anywhere, and the materials typically cost far less than $2,000. What makes the newer versions special is that the ribs and platform break down flat, so a congregation can build 10 of them in a fellowship hall over the winter, store them stacked, and raise a whole row of them in a single Saturday morning. Number 17, the cardboard composite pod. This one sounds impossible until you see it. Engineers took the same idea behind cardboard, layers of paper folded into stiff channels, and upgraded it with waterproof coatings and honeycomb cores. The result is a shelter that folds like an accordion, weighs less than a mattress, and can still shrug off wind and rain for months. Disaster relief teams loved them first, and now outreach groups use them as bridge shelters, something to hand a person tonight, while a longer-term spot opens up. A pod that packs to the size of a folded card table, carried under one arm, becomes a dry room with a door in about 10 minutes. Number 16, the ice shanty conversion. In Minnesota and Wisconsin, folding ice fishing shelters are a way of life. Insulated fabric shells that pop open on frozen lakes in the dead of January. Somebody up north looked at one and asked a simple question. If it keeps a fisherman warm at 20 below, why can't it keep a person warm in a parking lot? Outreach workers began buying used flip-over shanties at the end of each season, adding foam floor tiles and battery lanterns and handing them to people sleeping outside. Total cost, often only a few $100s secondhand. It folds onto a sled base, so the person can actually move their own shelter, and that little bit of ownership matters more than most of us realize. Number 15. The church parking lot pod. All over the country, church parking lots sit empty 6 nights a week, so congregations started building small hinged sleeping pods, roughly the size of a garden shed, that fold flat against a wall when not in use and open up at night into a locked, ventilated room with a cot. Because the pods collapse during the day, zoning complaints quiet down, the lot stays usable, and neighbors relax. Members donate the lumber, the youth group does the painting, and the men's ministry handles the hinges. Congregations doing this consistently report material costs well under $2,000 per pod, and something else too. Volunteers start learning the names of the people they are helping. Number 14, the plywood bookhouse. Imagine a small A-frame cabin cut down the middle and joined with a long piano hinge across the ridge. Closed, it is a flat sandwich of 2 panels. Opened, it stands up like a book on a table, an instant peaked roof with 2 sleeping walls. Builders add end caps, a small door, and rigid foam inside. The genius is the storage. A single garage can hold a dozen folded bookhouses leaning against the wall like giant novels on a shelf, waiting for the night the temperature drops and the county issues a cold warning. Then a couple of trucks roll out, and by midnight, a dozen people are inside and out of the wind. Number 13. The shop class shelter. In a growing number of American high schools, woodshop students are not building birdhouses anymore. Teachers hand them a real problem. Design a foldable shelter for a homeless neighbor, keep it under a set budget, and make it something you would be proud to hand to a human being. The students learn joinery, insulation, and hinge geometry, and at the end of the semester, the finished shelters go to local outreach groups instead of a storage room. Parents come to the unveiling. Some students meet the person who will sleep in what they built. Ask any teacher who has run one of these programs, and they will tell you the kids are never the same afterward, in the best possible way. Number 12. The greenhouse panel warm room. Twin-wall polycarbonate, the cloudy plastic sheeting used on greenhouses, turns out to be a quiet miracle for shelters. It is light, nearly unbreakable, and its hollow channels trap an insulating layer of air. Builders frame a simple folding skeleton of 1x lumber, skin it with polycarbonate panels, and end up with a shelter that glows softly with daylight inside instead of feeling like a dark box. On sunny winter days, the panels capture warmth the way a greenhouse does, taking the chill off before nightfall. The materials fold flat, cut with ordinary tools, and typically come in comfortably under budget, leaving room for a proper sleeping pad and a carbon monoxide safe heat source. Number 11. The tailgate fold-out. This design lives permanently in the bed of a pickup truck. The folded shelter rides flat under a tonneau cover, and when an outreach volunteer finds someone sleeping rough, far from any services, the whole thing slides out on rails and unfolds beside the truck in minutes. Floor panel down, walls up, roof over, done before the coffee gets cold. Rural areas love this one because homelessness in the countryside is real but invisible, scattered along riverbanks and behind grain elevators where no shelter bus will ever go. One truck, one driver, one folded home. Sometimes that is the entire safety net a county has, and it works. We are halfway through the countdown, and the designs only get better from here. Before we continue, one thing, because I know from the comments who is really watching, many of you are not just curious. You are watching because someone you love is struggling. A son, a grandson, a neighbor, maybe a veteran in your own family. And you want to help, but you do not know where to start. So we put together a free guide called the Veteran's Blueprint. It walks through the practical doorstep-level steps of helping someone get back inside and back on their feet, the details that just do not fit inside a YouTube video. If someone came to mind while I said that, the link is in the description below. It is free, and it is there waiting. No pressure. Now, back to the countdown. Number 10. The Veteran Build Crew Shelter. Around the country, veterans groups noticed something painful. A large share of the people sleeping outside once wore the uniform, so they stopped asking permission and started building. Crews of former soldiers, Marines, and sailors meet on weekends in borrowed workshops, cutting and hinging flat-pack shelters designed specifically for fellow veterans. The military habits show. Every build follows a checklist, every shelter gets inspected, and everyone is delivered with a handshake and a name, not just a key. Costs stay low because donated materials pour in the moment a hardware store hears who the shelter is for. Many of these crews will tell you the build saved them too, giving purpose to men and women who had been struggling quietly themselves. Number 9. The Fold-Out Village Unit. Some communities realized that one shelter helps one person, but a cluster of shelters builds something more: safety, neighbors, a front porch culture. The most famous example is Community First Village outside Austin, Texas, where hundreds of formerly homeless neighbors now live in a real community, and folding versions of that idea are spreading. Each unit packs flat for delivery, then opens into a small private room with a real door, a window, and a porch light, arranged in rows around a shared bathroom and kitchen building. Residents describe the same thing again and again. The first night behind a door that locks, they sleep for 10, 12 hours straight, sometimes the first deep sleep in years. The body finally believes it is safe. Number 8. The Solar Ready Pod. Take a basic folding shelter and add one flexible solar panel, a small battery box, an LED light, and a phone charging port, and something changes that has nothing to do with warmth. A charged phone means a person can answer a call from a landlord, a caseworker, an employer, or a daughter they have not spoken to in years. Builders mount the panel so it folds with the roof, wire everything through a single plug, and keep the whole electrical kit simple enough that nothing can go dangerously wrong. Even with the solar gear, careful shoppers keep these builds under $2,000. Light after dark and a working phone. Two small things that quietly reconnect a person to the world. Number 7. The 2-hour hinge build. Some volunteer groups asked a different question. Not how cheap can a shelter be, but how fast. Their answer is a design where every panel is pre-cut, pre-drilled, pre-painted, and pre-hinged in a workshop, then bundled flat with its hardware taped to the inside. On site, there is nothing to measure and nothing to cut. 2 people with a single cordless drill can stand the whole shelter up in about 2 hours, floor to roof cap. Speed matters more than people think. When a storm is coming or a camp is being cleared, the window to help someone can be a single afternoon. This design fits inside that window. Number 6. The winter-rated shelter. Cold is the killer. Not hunger, not rain, cold. So builders in the northern states developed folding shelters engineered for real winter, with thick, rigid foam in every panel, sealed seams, raised floors so ground frost cannot reach the sleeper, and small vented heat sources that are safe indoors. Some add a double-door entry, a tiny airlock like an old farmhouse porch, so opening the door does not dump the heat. Testers have spent nights inside these at temperatures far below zero and stayed warm under a single blanket. For the price of one used snowmobile, a town can put 5 of these out before Thanksgiving and know that 5 fewer people are gambling their lives against January. Every winter, cities count the people who did not make it through the cold, and the numbers are always higher than anyone wants to say out loud. These folded panels, stacked in a fire station or a church basement in October, are how some towns decided that count would go down. Number 5. The weekend neighborhood build. This is less a design and more a ritual that keeps spreading from town to town. A neighborhood picks a Saturday. Somebody's driveway becomes the workshop. Materials for 2 or 3 folding shelters get bought in advance, and everyone shows up. Retirees with table saws, teenagers who can carry things, kids handing out screws, somebody's wife running a crock pot of chili on the porch. By Sunday evening, the shelters are folded, loaded, and delivered. People who barely waved at each other before are suddenly a crew. More than one town has admitted the honest truth. that the builds fixed a little bit of the neighborhood's loneliness while they were busy fixing someone else's. Number 4. The fold and tow shelter. Some builders mount their folding shelter on the smallest, cheapest utility trailer money can buy, the kind sold as a kit at discount tool stores. Folded, it is a low, flat trailer any car with a hitch can pull. Opened, the floor is already up off the ground, dry, level, and mouse-proof, with the walls hinging up from the trailer bed itself. Because it is technically a trailer, it can be moved legally, parked where allowed, and repositioned in minutes when a location stops working. For a person or a family bouncing between temporary spots, a home that rolls with them, built for well under $2,000, becomes stability on wheels. Number 3. The double-duty storage shelter. One clever design solves a problem most people never consider. When you are homeless, you cannot look for work because you cannot leave your belongings anywhere. Everything you own is on your back, and it screams your situation to every employer you meet. So builders created a folding shelter with a lockable interior chest built into the floor panel. The person can secure their bags, walk into an interview looking like anyone else, and come back to find everything safe. Outreach workers say this single feature changes outcomes more than almost anything, because a job application only works when both your hands and your dignity are free. Number 2. The family fold-out. Most cheap shelters are built for one person, but a growing share of homelessness in America is families, a mother and 2 kids sleeping in a sedan. So volunteers designed a wider folding unit with a partition, a grown-up side, and a children's side, with a little fold-down shelf where kids can do homework by lantern light. Builders often say the children's side is where donations flood in. The moment a community hears that a 7-year-old will sleep behind that hinge door tonight, the lumber, the blankets, and the labor appear by themselves. It is hard to look at a folded stack of painted panels and realize it is somebody's first bedtime story in months, but it is. And number 1. The grandmother's design that started a movement. Nobody can point to the exact kitchen table where this began, but the story build groups pass along goes like this. Years ago, a widowed grandmother in the Midwest, a retired seamstress with arthritis in both hands, saw a man sleeping in the doorway of her old church in the middle of winter. She could not lift lumber and she could not swing a hammer. So she did what she knew. She drew a pattern. She treated a shelter like a garment, panels instead of fabric pieces, hinges instead of seams, and she sized every part so that one older woman working alone could handle it. Then she gave the pattern away to anyone who asked. Versions of her design have been copied, adapted, and improved by build groups in state after state, and most of the people building them have no idea how the pattern is said to have started at a kitchen table with a pencil and a prayer. She never put her name on it. She just wanted the man in the doorway and everyone like him to be warm. And the way the builders tell it, the man from the doorway helped assemble the 3rd shelter ever made from her pattern. He had steady hands, it turned out, and a good eye for hinges. He builds them still. So, what does all of this add up to? 20 designs, hinges, and plywood and borrowed trailers, none of it complicated, none of it expensive. The real invention here is not the folding panel. It is the decision thousands of ordinary Americans made to stop waiting for someone else to fix this. A grandmother with a pattern, a shop class with a budget, a veteran with a checklist. If you take one thing from this video, let it be that helping does not require permission, a fortune, or an engineering degree. It requires a Saturday. And maybe that is the quiet lesson hiding inside every hinge in this video. Big problems make us feel small, so we scroll past them. But nobody scrolls past a neighbor holding one end of a plywood panel and asking for a hand. Somewhere near you, tonight, there is a person who would give anything for 4 walls and a door that locks. And somewhere near you, there is probably also a garage, a drill, and a free weekend. If this story moved you, hit subscribe, because we share stories like this every single week. And there is another one you need to see, the small town that built an entire village for homeless veterans in a single year. It is on your screen right now. I will see you there.